On our stage tonight is a trampoline. And one of these young ladies is the national trampoline champion. What is your name, please?
My name is Barbara Gallaher. My name is Barbara Gallaher.
My name is Barbara Gallaher.
Only one of these young ladies is the real Barbara Gallaher. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Dina Merrill, Johnny Carson, and Kitty Carlisle on To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Salem Cigarettes. Good evening, panel.
Evening, Bud.
May I ask you to open up your envelopes for the first time and take out your affidavit cards and read along as I read to you. I, Barbara Gallaher, am the 1961 National Women's Tumbling Champion. This title is not exactly new to me, since I held the championship in 1952, 53, 54, 55, 56, and 57. I also work on the trampoline. In 1960, I toured with a team of trampolinists in Africa and Europe, giving exhibitions in what is technically known as rebound tumbling. This year, for the first time, the trampoline was made an official event in the AAU gymnastic competition. I am the first National Women's Trampoline Champion. Signed, Barbara Gallaher. So we start off tonight, panel, with three very pretty young ladies, each one claiming to be Barbara Gallaher, trampoline champion, as you heard. And we'll start this first round cross-examination with our own pretty Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, what kind of training do you have to have in order to be a trampoline champion?
Well, I began at a very young age, and I learned on the mat. I was a tumbler first.
As a gymnast?
Yes.
Number two, would you be good enough to tell me what AAU stands for?
American Amateur, Athletic Amateur Union.
Number three, can you tell me who's the head of this organization?
Well, the secretary is Dan Ferris.
Number one, when you trained as a child, what did you start with?
Well, I started with the basic kip and...
Number two, were you ever in a circus?
No, I was not.
You only have done this kind of work?
Well, I started...
Tom.
Thank you. Number two, what is a layout?
A layout is when you start out from a prone position.
Number three, would you happen to know what a high hand-to-hand might be? What does that describe to you?
Well, that's a handstand on top of another person in another person's hands.
Thank you. Number one, what would a side mean to you? A side?
Well, we don't use that in tumbling.
Don't use the
No.
term side?
No.
Number three, who would you say used to constitute the greatest mat tumblers, traditionally? As number three?
Traditionally, well, Roland Wolf.
No, I mean, from what country? Well, thank you anyway.
Dina.
Number one, what is rebound tumbling?
Well, rebound tumbling is a term used when you're using the trampoline, which means that you're tumbling with a rebound from the mat.
I
from the
see.
bed.
Number two, when you start on a trampoline, what is the first thing you're taught to do?
Well, on the basics, you would come into your regular tumble souls, and then you'd go into your flips, you'd go into your dives, you'd go into your twists, elevating us from the elementary into the national. Do you mean in competition now?
No,
or?
no, I meant just as a beginner, as a learner, yes.
Well, your kip would be very important, which is bring yourself up from a prone position, bent up. That would be important of getting from a still.
Johnny.
What'd you say?
Ask her to repeat that, will you?
Number three, how high can you go on that thing?
Oh, it depends on the person, usually from 10 to 20 feet.
10 to 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Number three again. What is a kip?
A kip?
Kip.
A kip is a backward roll and an extension back up to your feet.
Number 2, do you agree to that?
Yes, I do.
Number 1, do you agree to that?
Yes.
Number 2, what is a full dislocation on the flying rings?
There is no such thing in tumbling. There is no such thing in tumbling.
Number 1, you took tumbling or gymnastics. What is a full dislocation on the flying rings?
We don't use flying rings.
Oh.
Oh, there you are.
When you break your back.
I'm pretty anxious to know what that is, too, but there isn't time right now because we have no further time for questions. I'm going to ask you, therefore, to mark your ballots, if you will, panel. And without consultation, vote, of course, for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And, of course, as is our custom, the team of challengers will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. Everybody set? Got your kips all marked? Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3, Bud. I feel a little bit funny about this, only because I used to do a little bit of it, and I was able to recognize the fact that number 3 had a little more information than the other 2. But this is the place where I'm proven completely wrong, right? Like Tom Ewell.
Dina, your vote.
Well, I voted for number 2, Bud, because, well, sort of the same reason as Tom. She seemed to know so much about it. And also because she looks very strong, and I think you must be strong to do this kind of thing.
Johnny, what about your ballot?
I'll go for 1.
Righty?
I mean, I'll vote for 1. They all are pretty well informed. Number 1 was the first one who brought up the kip, although number 3 identified exactly what it is. I'll go with 1, just to make it interesting.
Okay. Kitty.
Well, every term sounded like double talk to me, but I voted for number 3 on the basis of her looks. She had very beautiful, tapered, muscular legs, and I think that anybody who's been a trampoline champion since 1952 is got to be real thin. Number 1 got hysterical when number 2 was talking, and I figured she thought that was all wrong. But nevertheless, I voted for number 3.
All right, there we have it. Time to find out who's who and who's right and who's wrong here, as we do, of course, at the end of each one of our rounds. As soon as these votes are in and nothing can be changed, why, we go to our own resolution of truth. Will you 3 ladies please come out here? We're going to reveal this in one of our fun ways, which you think is a little pleasanter, a little happier. Now, will the real Barbara Gallaher give us a small sample of what is real championship form on the trampoline?
Dislocation on the double ring.
That was just beautiful, believe me. It was a joy to watch you. Tom, would you care to go out and show what you can do on the trampoline? He's not dressed for it, or he would, I'm sure. Let's find out about you other pretty ladies. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Lois Von Seaton, and I'm a cocktail waitress at the Gaslight.
And number 2, your real name and what you do.
My name is Liz Lorenz. I'm a housewife and mother of 2 children.
So let's check our score now and see how we stand. There were exactly 2 correct, therefore 2 incorrect. At $250 each, that's not too bad. A total of $500 in Salem cigarettes, and of course a carton of Salem's for each of them. Thank you so much for sharing that lovely art of yours. Good night, good luck to you. Incidentally, Barbara Gallaher is a student at North Texas State University. And of course, she is an amateur athlete and is appearing with special permission of the Amateur Athletic Union and would like us to donate her share of the winnings to the AAU Olympic Development Fund, which will be done. Incidentally, my apologies to Barbara Gallaher, because last time I said Gallagher, and I'm sorry. Such a pretty gal should have everything just the way it is. And now let's have our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is May Cunningham.
My name is May Cunningham.
My name is May Cunningham.
Follow along this time, too, if you will, panel, as I read. I, May Cunningham of Ireland, am on my first visit to the United States in my capacity as director of the Shamrock Rovers professional soccer team. The team, which has been owned by my family for over 35 years, is playing here against teams from all over the world as part of the International Soccer League competition for the American Challenge Cup. Soccer is not my only connection with the world of sport. I'm also a licensed horse race bookmaker and operate another family enterprise, the Joe Cunningham Betting Office in Dublin. Signed, May Cunningham. Again, three ladies panel, this time claiming each of them to be May Cunningham, Irish bookmaker. And we will start this round with our own bookie, Johnny Carson.
Licensed bookmaker?
Yes, sir.
Number 2, whatever happened to a horse named Lazy Day I bet on a couple of years ago? I haven't heard from him since.
He's still running.
Number 3, what is the definition of a term, a handle, in betting? The handle.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Number 2, what would be termed in betting the handle?
I don't know.
Number 1?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. You've got 3 phonies tonight, huh? All right, number 2, give me the names of 2 of the best-known soccer players in Ireland.
Billy Lord and Tom Brown.
Number 3, give me the names of...
Tommy Darcy and Billy Laird.
All right.
Kitty.
Number 1, I'm interested in why I never win the Irish sweepstakes. Can you tell me how to get a good horse in the Irish sweepstakes?
No, I can't. You've got to take your chance.
Number 2, who's the mayor of Dublin?
Mayor.
Number 3, who's the mayor of Dublin? Number 1, who's the mayor of Dublin?
Morris Dockrell.
Number 2, can you tell me where the Blarney Stone is?
Yes, in County Cork.
Number 3, there's a port in Ireland called Cobb. Can you spell it for me?
C-O-B-H.
Number 1, where's the Blarney Stone?
In Cork.
In Cork? Where?
Yes. About 10 miles outside Cork, in Blarney, beside Blarney Castle.
Thomas.
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, what is a wing? In soccer, number 3.
A wing is the corner of the field in soccer.
Number 1, please. Thank you, number 3. Number 1, who is allowed to handle the ball?
The goalkeeper.
Thank you. Now, number 1, just by chance, do you happen to know what the term vigorish means?
Vigorish?
Yes, in relation to betting, not in relation to soccer.
No, never heard that word before.
No, know what vigorish
No.
means. Well, maybe you could tell me what it means to lay off a bet.
Yes. If you're a bookmaker and you have too much money for a horse, you lay it off with somebody else.
Thank you.
Dina.
Number 1, can you describe the forward line of the soccer team? I mean, what are the names of the positions?
Oh, yes. Outside right, inside right, center forward, inside left, and outside left.
Thank you. Number 2, how many members are there on the team, on a soccer team?
There are 11 players on the team.
Number 3, is there a tote machine in England connected with the racetracks?
Yes, in England, but not in Ireland.
But not in Ireland.
Fred, that's all the time we have. I strongly suspect that the language of the bookies over there and the bookies over here are somewhat different. That would be fun to go into, but we don't have time. It's time now for you to mark your ballots, if you will, please. And without consultation, you will kindly vote for number 1, bookie number 2, or bookie number 3. Everybody set? Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1 for 2 reasons. She knew the mayor of Dublin's name. No, I don't know whether she knew the mayor of Dublin's name or not. She said a name. I don't know if that's right or not. And she also has a very healthy, attractive outdoor complexion, and I figure somebody who handles a soccer team must spend a lot of time outdoors. Let's see.
Dina, which one did you select?
Also number 1, Bud.
Huh?
Because I felt number 1 knew so surely the positions on the soccer team, and also, like Tom, she looks like an outdoor person.
You mean that Tom also looks like an outdoor person?
No!
Oh, all right. Johnny.
Well, I think we're in trouble because I voted for 1, too. So, automatically. I couldn't understand that term handle must not mean what it Does,
I imagine it doesn't.
In Ireland.
What does it mean to you?
It means the daily take, the handle, how much money has been handled.
How much
They
was
don't-
bet?
You know
much
too
was-
much
how much was
about this
bet?
subject.
Kitty, your vote.
I voted for number 1 for reasons which I don't understand. Because I don't know anything about the soccer team, but she reeled off all those positions. And like Tom, she said the name of a mayor of Dublin, and I didn't understand. I didn't hear it, but she said it. And I think it's probably number 3 because they try to fool us with things like that. Such a pretty girl wouldn't be the manager of a soccer team, but anyway.
Okay, so be it. Let's find out how the chips are falling this time as we learn which one of these young ladies is the real director of the soccer team and Irish bookmaker. Will the real May Cunningham please stand up? Thank you very much. I think I, too, would have placed bets on that one. Number 2, maybe have your real name and what you really do.
My name is Ann Byrne, and I'm with Chemical Bank, New York Trust. I'm sorry for that.
Thank you. And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Margaret Lynch, and I'm a sales girl at Matty Haskins' Irish Import Store on 3rd Avenue.
That figures. Well, I tell you, we're grateful to the little people for giving us such a nice trio of charming ladies. And I'm sorry you didn't win more than you did, but the panel was real smart this time. However, from Salem Cigarettes, $150 for you. And we thank you for your visit. Also, a carton of Salem's on your way up. Good night.
And good luck.
How long since you've taken a walk? I mean, a real walk out in the country. Well, I think that possibly this film is going to make you resolve to do it soon. Let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Charles McCollister. My name is Charles McCollister.
My name is Charles McCollister.
Once again, will you direct your attention to your copies of this affidavit as I read from mine? I, Charles McCollister, am a lumber camp foreman. I've been lumberjacking since I was 21 and have worked as a faller, a bucker, a rigging slinger, and a cat driver. This spring, my crew of river drivers and I completed the largest annual log drive in the country. It took us about a month to drive some 60 million board feet of logs 85 miles down the Clearwater River to the largest white pine mill in the world. Signed, Charles McCollister. Three stalwart gentlemen this time, each claiming to be Charles McCollister, as you heard and I heard. Lumber camp foreman this time. And let us begin this round with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, could you tell me the name of the hand implement used to move logs?
A peavey?
Is there another name for it? Peavey's right, but is there another name?
Not for that same tool.
One that's very similar? What would you call that?
A cant hook?
Thank you. Number 2, what does the man wear who tops trees?
That is something we do not do in our operation.
You don't top trees in your
We
operation?
do not top trees.
Number 1, maybe you could tell me what keeps a lumberjack from slipping when he's working logs in a river?
He has a special pair of boots. He wears the caulks in the soles of them.
Where's what?
Boots with caulks, which is steel.
Caulks. Caulks. Is that not right, number 2?
That is right, caulks.
I shouldn't be asking. Thank you.
Dina Merrill.
Number 1, where is the Clearwater River?
Clearwater River is the northern part of Idaho.
Of Idaho. Number 2, what is a faller?
Faller is the man that saws a tree down.
Number 1, what is a bucker?
A bucker is the one where the logs are already down at the landing, and they saw them into 16-foot logs.
Number 3, what's a rigger slinger? Rigging slinger, excuse me.
That's a chicken plucker, isn't it?
A rigging slinger is a man that he handles the rigging in a skidding operation.
Johnny.
Nothing. I know nothing about lumberjacking. Number one, is it true that Smokey the Bear is a communist?
Get an answer, John. We need to know.
Right, anything.
Don't let him take the fifth, Johnny.
Number two, what does the name Warehouser mean to you?
Warehouser doesn't mean anything in lumber camp.
Number one, does the name Warehouser mean anything to you?
No, sir.
Number three, the name Warehouser?
It's a brand on lumber.
All right. Number two, how do they figure board feet?
How do they figure they scale it? A board foot? Is that the answer you're looking for? What a board foot of lumber is?
What is a board foot of lumber?
Board foot of lumber is 12 inches square, 1 inch thick.
Number one, you agree to that?
That's correct.
Number one, let me see your hand, please, like so. Number two. Number three. Now, what happens at night? It seems to me, it says here that you took, how long? A month to drive? Well, what do you do at night? You sleep on these logs, number one?
No, ma'am, we stay on a Wenigan.
On a what?
A Wenigan.
Not a wedding, on a winning.
No, a Wenigan.
Number two, what is a winning?
Wanigan is the...
A winning Wanigan?
Wenigan is the way you pronounce it.
A Wenigan. What is a Wenigan?
Wanigan is the place... Wanigan, I don't know.
What?
Wanigan, I don't know, but a Wanigan...
That's number one again.
Number three, where do you stay at night? On a Winigan?
Number three?
Uh-huh.
Wanigan.
On a Wanigan. You don't sleep on the logs. That's what I want to know.
Right.
Well, Finnegan, Flanagan, Winnigan, Wanigan, we have now come to the moment of marking our ballots. So will you kindly do so, and again without consultation, and vote for number one, number two, or number three. Okay. Tomigan, what's your vote again?
I voted for three again. Because although his answers seemed sometimes a little slow coming, they seemed right to me when I did hear them.
Dina.
Doesn't sound right.
I voted for number two because there's all this Winigan, Wanigan business. He was so definite about that Wanigan that I voted for number two.
Okay, Johnny, your vote.
I voted for number three because Wanigan is right. It's the Wanigan Motel on the Clearwater River.
And that's where they stay.
Where they stay.
That's where they slept at night. Okay, Kitty, your vote.
I voted for number two because I don't think number one's hands match his face. I think he's been made up to look outdoorsy. And number two looks the most weather-beaten, although number three did give some very intelligent answers, although they were indeed slow in coming. He said a rigging slinger handle rigging, and that didn't seem to be enough of an answer.
All right, with that in mind, then, let's get to our own particular denouement, moment of truth, or what you will, as we learn which one of these gentlemen is the real Finnegan, Flanagan, Hennigan, Honnigan, or whatever it was, off again, on again, Finnegan. The real lumber camp foreman. So will the real Charles McCollister please stand up? We thank you, sir, and we wish you happy sleeping in the future on a Wanigan. Number one, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Harold Zier, and I'm a commissary-man first class. I'm from Stockton, California.
What did you ask, Tom?
Well, why first class?
Are you in the Army?
Navy?
I'm in the United States Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
Number two, your real name and what you really do, please.
My name is Floyd Corbin. I'm a Master Sergeant in the United States Army stationed at Fort Tilden.
Oh, boy. Yes, Tom.
Willie Stein, our shrewd producer, assistant producer, has asked me to ask number three what a Wanigan really is.
That's what I was going to do, because Kitty wanted to know. What is a Wanigan, sir?
A Wanigan is the place where the crew sleep and eat during the log drive. During the drive, we go about 50 miles where there are no roads accessible, so transportation is out other than on the river. So we have our sleeping quarters with us and our eating quarters. It's the base of operations.
And it's called a Wanigan.
It's about 120 feet long and 30 feet wide.
It's floating, you mean it's floating?
It's on pontoons.
On pontoons, floating on the river, yeah.
It's built on air.
Well, we thank you very much, sir. You've added greatly to our amusement, entertainment, and certainly to our education as well about a little-known subject these days.
I used to do this, you know.
Yeah, all right. The trampoline is backstage. All right, let's find out about the score now. We discovered that there were 2 incorrect votes and $250 each for a total of $500. Salem Cigarettes and the Carton of Salem's for each of you, and our best wishes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night. Now, here's a word from our ultimate sponsor. Time gone, but not the fun. Good night, panel.
Good night, Bud.
Good night,
Bud
Bud.
Collier saying good night from Salem Cigarettes and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.